Here I will be summarizing most of my PhD thesis, which I did with Anna Dornhaus on the search behavior of ants. My general question is, how do ants search for resources of which they don't know the location? And to put you into the mind of an ant, imagine that you were searching for mushrooms in a wide field like this one, and you have to return to the home base every time you find one. Which strategy would you follow? And to answer this kind of question in ants, I took whole colonies of Temnothorax rugatulus from the wild, and I placed them into such artificial nests, which I then in turn placed into this arena. I let all ants explore the arena freely for 5 hours and recorded their movements. This is a huge arena, and here are undergrads for scale. I want to stress that there are no resources in the arena because we are interested in the default search behavior of ants, but that also means that we don't know what they are searching for. We tracked the ants with T-Rex and got big data. This is one of 5 colonies in our experiments. Note that we cannot keep track of individual IDs between the search bouts because we have not marked the ants individually. Returning to the scenario. Maybe you thought that you would search in a systematic pattern, like a spiral or in zigzags. And that's exactly what the ants are doing. They are meandering like a river more regularly left and right than a normal random walk would do. And they do this on multiple scales. So here I have overlaid the splines of this track on 2 larger scales, which are also meandering. And what's striking about this track piece is that it never intersects itself. And that is also common that ants reduce the frequency of crossing their own path, which makes them search more unique area in a confined space, like near the nest, more efficiently. And this increased efficiency might also be a reason that this behavior is found across the tree of life, including these more than 500 million year old fossil traces of some worms, so really ancient and widespread. Despite this, there is barely any research into when and how this behavior occurs. Going back to the scenario, how would you change your search movements as you become more familiar with the area and you know more how to get back to the tent and where the best spots for these mushrooms are? Well, this scenario is also biologically relevant for my study species because they do move their nest multiple times per year, so they have to familiarize themselves with their surroundings a lot. And to test this, we tracked these ants over 3 consecutive days. And the results are that with increasing familiarity of the arena over the 3 days, the ants decrease their exploration activity in a radius of less than about 1 meter from the nest. The exploration activity farther from the nest doesn't change between the days. And these movements closer to the nest are generally slower and curvier than those farther away from the nest. And that means that after an ant colony has relocated, the ants are leaving the nest more, either to learn about the new environment, so for example the visual scenery, or to mark the surrounding area with their own chemicals, or for some other reason we don't know yet. Now lastly, how would that strategy of yours change if you were in a search team with which you have to coordinate? Maybe you would avoid their footprints of your teammates because you know they have already picked all the mushrooms there. And previous work has shown that ants cover an area more evenly when they are walking on the chemical footprints of their nestmates. So that means that they also must coordinate somehow. There are 2 hypotheses for these that I am looking at. One is that ants are turning away from the footprints as they are sensing them, but we didn't find any evidence for that. The second one is that ants move straighter when they are moving on footprints, so that they are more efficiently dispersing or diffusing away from these areas. We found the opposite of that being the case, so ants move less straight when they are walking on footprints. And we identified 2 reasons for that. One is that some ants are moving away from the nest quicker than others, and there, farther away from the nest, there are naturally fewer ant footprints. And the second one is that ants are extremely sensitive to environmental cues. For example, these horizontal lines here are where ants walk less straight and slower, and they coincide with the locations of adhesive tape, which is underneath 3 layers of paper. And those 2 mechanisms or behaviors are probably a lot more important in the ecological context where there is a lot more heterogeneity on the ground and maybe also within the ant colonies than there is in the lab.